I found a hidden room in my dad's house after he died. What was inside changed everything I thought I knew about my family. This all happened 3 months ago, and I still can't sleep right. My dad passed away suddenly in January, heart attack. He was 67, semi-retired, lived alone in a big, weirdly isolated house in upstate New York. He and my mom split when I was 10, and I lived with her, visiting him on weekends until I went off to college. We were never super close. He was kind of a loner. Ex-military, very old school. Kept to himself, didn't talk much about feelings. He was strict, but not abusive. Distant, but not absent. Just, hard to know. Anyway, after he died, it fell to me, 32M, to sort out his estate. No siblings, no current wife. Just me. So I flew in, started going through the house, and that's when things started to feel off. The house was clean. Too clean. Like it had been scrubbed. Some rooms were almost sterile. But there were also parts that looked like they hadn't been touched in years. And the layout? It didn't quite add up. One night, I stayed late going through his office. Behind a bookcase that didn't fully reach the wall, I found a seam. A weird crack in the paneling. I pulled, and the whole thing swung open like a door. Behind it? A narrow staircase going down. Now, my dad's house had no basement. At least, not that we knew of. But this was a full-on hidden staircase, leading to a sealed room under the house. It smelled like dust and old paper. The room was small, maybe 10 by 10, with a table, a chair, filing cabinets, and one weird item, a child's toy. An old stuffed bear. Burnt on one side. Inside the cabinets were files. Dozens of them. Names, photos, handwritten notes. Some were old, black and white. Others were recent. One folder had my name on it. Another had my mother's. At this point, my hands were shaking. I opened mine. Inside, photos of me as a kid. School documents. Medical records. Even stuff I didn't know he had, therapy notes from when I was 12. A copy of an email I sent my ex in college. My mother's file was thicker. And darker. A restraining order. Letters she wrote to him, begging him to leave her alone. I never knew any of this. She'd told me they just didn't work out. But the worst part, the thing that made me physically drop the file, was a third folder labeled, Project Marigold. It was full of surveillance photos. Of strangers. Kids. Adults. Hospitals. All labeled. All dated. Notes in the margins like, observe until April, and, no contact unless directed. Some were crossed out. And then, at the bottom, a single VHS tape. It was labeled, Marigold 6, Final Recording. I don't have a VHS player, but I found one at a thrift store. I had to see it. And I wish I hadn't. It was grainy, time-stamped from 1997. A young girl in a hospital bed, maybe 6 or 7 years old. She's smiling, talking to the camera. My dad's voice is behind the camera. He's asking her questions. Then, her smile fades. The footage cuts. Then another clip, the same room, empty. Just the bear. Burnt. I called the cops. Showed them everything. At first, they were skeptical, said it could be part of his military intel days. But they took it seriously when I showed them the tapes and files. The FBI got involved. Turns out, my dad was part of a Black Ops project during the Cold War involving psychological research on kids from troubled homes. Some were orphaned. Some were taken. None of it was ever supposed to surface. And here's the kicker, Marigold 6 was my half-sister. born to a woman he was secretly seeing in the late 80s. She died in 1997. Supposedly in a fire. But now, we don't know what to believe. There are still files being reviewed. People being contacted. Most of it is being kept quiet. I've been told to stay silent for now, but I needed to get this off my chest. Because I can't stop asking myself one thing. What else did he hide?